Roman Catholicism is the driving force behind anti-Semitism. And there's a reason for that. Because if you don't have a patsy, you have to look at yourself. The architect of the Holocaust. Oh, Holocaust didn't exist. The architect of Nazi, let's put it this way. The architect of Nazi anti-Semitism, Reinhard Heydrich. You'll never guess what religion he was. You'll never guess what religion he was. Had a Protestant daddy? His Protestant daddy converted to his mommy's Catholicism, probably as a condition for marriage, which is very, very common. The whore of Babylon, the Roman whore of Babylon, puts a gun to your head. You want to marry a Catholic? You will become a Catholic. And how many Protestants do that? How many Christians do that? Give up Christ, adopt the whore of Babylon, so that they can be unequally yoked. Heydrich, I mean, just look at him. It looks like a misfit, a dorky misfit. No matter how much you can stylize him, what still comes across, and they're all basically stoic glamour shots. He was assassinated. Rightfully so. It's war. In the middle of the war, the Czech resistance assassinated him. And the Jesuit Nazi Third Reich literally wiped out an entire Czech town. I think it's Listen. Executed all men in the town. And as a result, no other Nazis were ever targeted again. Demons. 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 You kidding me? Demons. That's also Satan. Key player. Heydrich was a key player. So you did hurt them with what you did. That's how demons go to war. What kind of demons? Catholic demons. Catholic demons. Heinrich Himmler, who Frank O'Collins, the Jesuit, collared Jesuit, supposedly ex-Jesuit, in his One Evil Compendium, Frank O'Collins called Heinrich Himmler an ordained Jesuit. Evidence towards that end. Heinrich Himmler created the secret police within the secret police, counterintelligence, the Reich Security Main Office, RSHA. Look at the date that Heinrich Himmler created the RSHA. Look at the date it's the Jews, Johnny. It's the Jews, Johnny. Look at the date Heinrich Himmler created the SS Counterintelligence Secret Police. Look at the date. And he put Heydrich in charge. Heydrich, Catholic. Himmler, Jesuit. It's the Jews, Johnny. It's the Jews. All of this birthed in Roman Catholic Bavaria and the Jesuit capital city of Ingolstadt, modern Munich. Göring's wife, Emmy, died in Munich. Of course, they had the beer hall putsch that was in Munich. The Munich police chief, pro-Nazi, anti-Jew, dead at 55 in a car accident. Homosexual Ernst Röhm out of Munich. Extreme left wing, whacked on the night of the long knives. Hitler's girlfriend, Eva Braun, educated, came out of Bavaria, educated at a convent and another Catholic school. all out of Bavaria and Munich. One in the general area of Bavaria and one specifically out of Munich. Himmler, the Jesuit, was from Munich. After Heydrich was assassinated and the demonic Nazis executed, wiped out an entire Czech town, Heinrich Müller, Roman Catholic monster out of Munich, took Heydrich's place. Joseph Mengele, raised Roman Catholic, trained in Munich, disappeared, never caught, never found. Hate when that happens. One of the most hunted Nazis, sought after, not hunted, one of the most sought after, Irene Schonbein. Just a vicious Nazi. And interestingly enough, as much as they paint, as much as Hitler tried to ride family and family images, they were all sexual deviants. They were all sexual deviants. They were all adulterers. Guy like Martin Bormann, who ran the Nazi Party. His son and namesake, little Martin Jr., became a collared Jesuit. I wonder why. I wonder. Also, a sexual deviant, Martin Bormann, an adulterer. Britannica admits that Eva Braun provided Hitler as a beard of, was for Hitler a beard of stability, not some sort of lust mistress. Because he was a Roman Catholic weirdo himself. A Roman Catholic weirdo himself. He got the swastika from when he was at a Roman Catholic boys' school in Austria. He found the swastika at the little boys' Roman Catholic boys' school of Lambach. He found it in the heraldry of the priest who ran Lambach, Theodorich Hagen. Let's never forget the role of a collared Jesuit, Bernard Stampfel, in writing Mein Kampf, Mein Struggle, for Hitler against the Jews and the bankers. When Hitler was pursuing his niece in an incestuous relationship, I don't know if they ever had sex, but that was his design. Much younger than him and related to him. It was collared Jesuit Bernard Stampfel that went in and secured the love letters, lest they be too embarrassing. When you've got a guy like atheist Christopher Hitchens mentioning how Roman Catholic the Nazis were, and he could give a crap.
I can only summarize it now, and I'll do so very as tersely as I can. First, fascism, the original 20th century totalitarian movement, is really, historically, another name for the political activity of the Catholic right wing. There is no other name for it. Francoism, Salazarism, what happened?
So not right wing. That's not entirely accurate. Just because the Whore of Babylon learned to couch tyranny in terms of patriotism, it was still tyranny, not right wing. And that's a common misconception. Fascism is entirely socialist. How is that right wing? Simply because it suckered the fools rather than bold, I'll just kill you tyranny. I'll just put you in a gulag tyranny, as was done in Soviet Russia by collared Jesuit Joseph Stalin, as was done by possibly ordained priest. We have evidence towards that. Mao Zedong, an ordained priest, and the Vatican was proud to portray him as such. The most bloodthirsty government that ever was. China. Mao Zedong alone murdered anywhere from 70 to 100 million Chinese. You can't even think of those numbers. Number two, Soviet Russia. When the German twat, the murderous German twat, Sophie of whatever her name is, a.k.a. Catherine the Great, invited the Jesuits to come in during their own suppression when they suppressed themselves. That was the beginning of the end of hated Russia. And Ledakowski and Edmund Walsh working both sides of the street, creating the Nazis, creating Soviets. The number one and number two. And yet ignored, entirely ignored. Nazi Germany, the most evil, bloodthirsty government that ever existed. Thoroughly Jesuit and Catholic. Thoroughly Jesuit and not in the slightest bit right wing. All they did was succor the populace with patriotism. They still suffered under tyranny.